Hello and welcome back to a new video. So in this one I'm going to be benchmarking the Saints Row Reboot. So this has just been released for free on Epic Games Store, so definitely recommend you to check it out if you find this game interesting. Obviously the game didn't have the highest reviews on release, but given that it's free, it's definitely still worth checking out. So we're going to be starting at 1080p low, like normal. There's a VRAM usage bar that it provides usefully. As you can see, it's not maxed out, so this is all fine. And let's go. So this is the desert area, which is kind of more demanding. And as you can see there, it's not running too badly. I mean, it's getting in the 40s most of the time in this desert area. It does stutter a little bit, but it's definitely still playable. So yeah. The performance definitely isn't too bad. In the city area, it's closer to like 60 FPS when you're on low settings, so that's pretty good as well. Okay, we're going into the city area, kind of. Yeah, I guess it's fluctuating around the 40s quite a bit. I mean, again, it depends where you are on the map. Oh. So yeah, so this has been low settings, so now what's medium settings? So it's just a medium preset. As you can see, the medium preset is increasing the VRAM to 3.1 gigabytes, so it's still not maxed out. As you can see on medium, it definitely looks better on medium. And honestly, the hit to the frame rate isn't that big compared to low settings. So I kind of recommend medium, to be honest. I think you're pretty safe in terms of VRAM at medium settings, and again, it is a significant visual improvement, and the frame rate just stays pretty similar compared to what it was at low. So yeah, I would honestly take medium settings on this graphics card. I think you could play it high though, in fact, which I am going to show. Like, if you're okay with the game kind of being like a locked 30 FPS experience, but as you can see here, it's kind of only just above 30 in these areas with more foliage. Sometimes it depends, but yeah. When we like, yeah, I mean it's mostly staying above 30, but it's only just about, so. Oh. So yeah, the performance definitely could be better, but again, it depends where you are on the map as to how it's going to perform. But the visuals do look pretty good at medium, so I would be tempted to play like this, given that this is a well, given that you can play this game single player. Of course, if you like playing multiplayer, then you'd want higher. But given the nature of this title, I think medium should be okay. Obviously, it's a matter of personal preference. Anyway, those have been medium settings for you, so next I'm going to test high settings. So, high settings don't increase the VRAM that much. It's still within the limit of 4 gigabytes. Again, the game does look a bit better. I think there's like slightly better shadows and high quality shadows and but yeah, obviously the frame rate isn't too high with these settings. Sometimes dropping into the 20s, so Yeah, I would be hard pressed to recommend high settings. For some reason, I don't know why, but the upscaling doesn't seem to be working. So at least without upscaling, mm, I guess you could play it high. It's not actually dropping below 30 that much, but I guess in the desert area, yeah. As you can see in the desert area, it's only just barely maintaining above 30. So I guess you could lock it to 30 potentially. You can have like a PS4 like experience, I guess. Maybe a little bit better than PS4 still, I guess, because the visual settings are probably a little bit higher. And I think the internal resolution is low on PS4, but still, yeah. But yeah, as you see, when we're going to the foliage like this, it's now 27, 26, so yeah, it will drop below 30 and high, unfortunately, when you go to foliage. Next up, lastly, we are going to do ultra settings. So, so I was surprised about this, but it still isn't maxed out VRAM, so that's not an issue for one. As you can see, yeah, late 20s when we're in area with more foliage, so not really very good performance. When we exit, though, it kind of is still around 30. I mean, it's in the late 20s, early 30s. You could play the game like this. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 basically ran at this kind of frame rate on the original PS3 and Xbox 360. And yeah, I mean, people obviously still enjoyed the game at the time, and it was what it was, but yeah, obviously it's still not ideal. But it could be worse. So yeah, lastly on ultra settings you can expect around 30 FPS, early 30s, sometimes dropping to late 20s when you're in demanding areas. So you could maybe play like this if you really want the best visual experience possible, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I wouldn't completely rule it out. It depends really, again, on your preference when it comes to visuals versus performance. But overall, this is a pretty well optimized title, I suppose. It doesn't use too much VRAM, so that's well, definitely a good thing. It runs fine on 4 GB cards. I'll say that the minimum amount of VRAM to run this game is probably 3 GB, so you might be able to get away with a 2 GB card on low settings, but it seems to use around 3 GB on low, so yeah. Or maybe just under 3 actually. So anyway, this has been a benchmark for Saints Row Reboot. Hope you enjoyed seeing me play through this and found it informative. Did don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more benchmarks into the new year. Thanks indeed.